What's up, guys? It's great to be back with you on the Men's Club podcast. It is episode 17, and as always, I'm TJ.
I'm RD.
I'm Jordan. And I'm Pops.
And you may have noticed that there's a few more seats filled tonight.
Nope, haven't noticed.
Oh, have you not?
No.
Why don't you just leave?
Which we told y'all, eventually we was going to get our adult supervision to show up so that you can see that we are supervised most of the time. Minus one, of course. We are missing one. But
she thought she had better things to do than film this podcast, so it's okay.
But we decided we'd do this tonight, and we're gonna let them introduce themselves, or we're gonna introduce them for.
I don't know. Are we? What do you think? Are y'all capable? Talking on camera.
Y'all know your names?
I'm Mom.
This is Mom.
Wait, he's Pops. You can't just be like Mom. It's gonna be like Ma or like Mom.
I'm Ma.
No.
Lordy has mercy.
Okay, I'm Mama Lisa.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's because you are. You are
That's
Mama
right.
Lisa.
Mama Lisa.
Next.
Okay, so the way, alright, I'll explain this to you since you're new. The way we do this is we go down a line.
Sometimes.
You're next in line.
That's unfortunate.
And sometimes the line goes all the way around.
Yeah, it's
true.
a circle. Maybe even a...
Oval.
A loop.
No.
Let's get through the introductions.
Cut it.
I'm Katie. I'm TJ's.
Me now?
Yes,
My
you.
turn. Do I get the floor now? Okay. I'm Emma. I'm Jordan's better half, and this is Mama Lisa and Pop's grandchild Belle. This is the only one they're gonna get.
That's why she's not in the wheel.
So wait.
One of our great
wait.
puppies.
So since we're calling them grandpuppies now, can we change it to Meemaw and Peepaw?
No, we can't. Not even if by accident y'all have a human one.
We have Bane and Ellie and Belle and Hera and Toby now and
Taz.
Taz
And then we have two
Lucifer and Luna.
And they're all from various places over on the African continent, like Brangelina.
Alright though. So I was the one that had the idea for this podcast, so I'll just go ahead and introduce it. We are basically just having a roast session. We decided we were going to sit down and we were going to tell on each other.
Wait.
Y'all know nothing.
Wait, what?
Ain't nobody roasted nothing. I guess you roasted the
The only
coffee.
thing roasted is this coffee.
Yeah.
No,
Ain't no
we're going
chicken.
to tell on each other. We're going to tell stories just about random life events with
Maybe.
better halves.
Or maybe they all get camera shy. This whole thing gets scrapped and we do something else.
You're just mad because everybody's gonna like me better than you.
They probably should too. I'm not a good
Don't
person.
like, subscribe, and hit the like button.
Yeah, I don't.
Right there. Bring me views.
That's content at
We
the
get money.
end of the day.
We get more views, you're on more often.
Right. We're back. After that random edit because we talk stupid sometimes.
It gets hard when you have 6 people. 7 people.
7.
Math is
Math?
hard.
Math is hard.
We apologize.
Public school
TJ can't
education.
count.
Y'all already knew that. Why we apologize? I'm pretty sure there's a compilation video in there of times I've gotten stuff wrong mathematically. Like how Jelly Belly is definitely in Tennessee.
Y'all just
It has nothing to do with math.
Yeah, it does.
He's the more photogenic
Geography.
one.
That's math.
Her's doing just fine.
2 + 2 equals Tennessee.
That's true.
I don't want to hear it. Everything's from Arkansas.
It is. Facts, it always has been.
Wait, it's all Arkansas? Always has been.
Alright, Jordan, kick it off.
Alright, so just to start this out, I'm going to tell on Emma.
Oh, no.
Y'all have already heard this story, but y'all have not. So Emma is deathly afraid of spiders or bugs in general.
Yeah, she can't hear him at all.
Did I say deathly?
Yeah, you did.
Deathly afraid. I apologize. Words are hard. But so I come home the other day, and I'm normally home a while before she is, and then she shows up.
It was yesterday, not the other day.
We don't timestamp these videos.
I'm just telling you.
It was yesterday when this was made.
But I'm standing in the kitchen, and she just looks at me with the most serious look I've ever seen in my life. She goes, "We need to talk." I said, "About what?" And she tries to pull me back here in the laundry room. Well, what she doesn't realize is I've already moved the clothes hamper. There was a wolf spider in this clothes hamper.
No.
I kid you not. This big. Here.
No, please.
She's being exaggerative. She doesn't know how big the spider was.
Yes, it was. I seen it before you did.
You claim it was a tarantula. It was a wolf spider.
It was a tarantula.
It was a wolf spider. Hey, I can't deal with y'all talking.
He's wanting more coffee, and he has a full cup.
I have an empty cup too.
TJ.
Go ahead. Dealing with children.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. So she calls me back there, and she's like, "Well, it's still back here if you haven't moved it." And then she looks down. She goes, "Oh my God."
I do not talk with my hands like that.
I do not talk on my hands.
If you didn't have a dog right now, you'd be doing this number.
You're lying.
Is no.
No.
Yeah. He's telling the truth.
She's a very expressive speaker.
Throwing him gang signs.
You keep doing that, you go sleep outside.
I'm finna say also in the comment section, guess which one of us slept on the couch. Mine's not here, so it ain't me.
I don't own a couch, so
She's getting an advance copy.
What?
She's getting an advance copy.
Yeah. She gonna make you sleep on the couch. She's not even here.
I got a new one, so I'm good.
we're gonna catch a phone call when this is done.
Oh my Lord. Either way, I'd already killed the spider and already moved it. But TJ suggested later, and what I should have done was just convinced her that I had let it go in the house.
We would have had to burn the house down. Sorry,
She had
JC.
already attempted
Sorry.
to call my mother to tell her that we were burning the house down.
That's her if you weren't catching on.
No. Pops.
Sorry, Mama Lisa. I hope your daddy has renter's insurance.
As I said, just move out.
Just leave.
Just come down here. We have spiders too, though.
Yeah, y'all got mice and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Spiders jump for you.
No.
People watching this like, I'm never going to their house.
Yeah.
We live in hayfields.
Yeah, that's right.
Literally in that, there ain't no house. There's a tent and some spiders. That's it.
It's just a really
The laundry room is the creek with a washing board.
We ain't that backwoods.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Since we're tailing off, I've got actually two different stories
See, now I knew this would be
that
fun.
I can use dealing with animals in the house.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out which one. Yeah, we've got.
I'm gonna say
We've got a mouse story and a snake story.
Oh.
I am.
Oh, let's tell the one about when Bailey jumps on the table.
Okay, we'll talk about that one. Of course, I wasn't here. Do you want to tell it?
He's grown. No.
Do you want me to tell it? I was
you,
here.
You was
Grown.
here. Yeah. You go ahead and tell
So
it.
it's not like it's child abuse anymore.
You statutory limitation are gone.
He's a legal adult. Y'all can't
Exactly.
do nothing.
Can't do
So, we are here by ourselves, me, my brother, and my mom. And we're watching TV or something. I can't remember.
I think I was doing laundry or something.
No. Mouse runs out from underneath the couch. Down at the creek. Mouse runs out from underneath the couch and freaks out. I mean, just loses it.
The mouse?
No, my mother. That's why I'm pointing. She jumps on the couch. Bailey jumps on the table,
The coffee table.
the coffee table. And then I'm sitting where I'm at.
Now Bailey's probably
Oh, he's
About 3 or 4.
about 3 or 4
no,
years old.
He's a little bit older than that. He's probably 5 or 6.
Okay.
He's about 17.
Yeah, he's about 5 or 6 year old. You know,
Yeah.
he's still a small child.
Yeah, he's still a child.
Yeah.
Well, Mom's up on the couch just screaming, doing her thing, and Bailey's on the table doing the same thing.
No surprise there.
Same hand motions and everything.
Yeah, he was freaking out. It was whatever. And then the mouse decides to turn around and run back underneath the couch, which Mom is standing on.
Yes.
And she loses her mind.
Yes.
She jumped. It's one bound. It's amazing. It's crazy what she done.
A bound?
Yes, a bound.
A leap and a bound.
Yes.
One bound clears the gap between the couch and the coffee table.
It's like a 25-foot gap.
No, it's
No, it's
like
not.
a 4-foot gap. Just, 2 feet to his back.
No.
Just drop kicks Bailey.
No.
Okay, there was no drop kicking, but I did knock him off the table.
She jumps and just.
But let me
shoves
ask you
him.
this: when you knocked him off the table, did you immediately want to help get him back up?
Nope.
Nope. Matter of fact, he tried.
So you just left our child to the ravishes of the rat.
Yep.
Matter of fact, he tried to get back on the table, and she was like, "No."
He jumps on the other couch and just looks at her and goes.
It's like fend for yourself.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Teach him young.
I don't do mice. Oh.
Okay, now
Are you leaving me?
okay. I'll tell the. Just take this. I'll just restart it.
Yeah.
Okay, now I can go ahead and tell the one that has to do with the snake, since I was actually there for it. I get a phone call. I'm at work, and I pick it up. I say hello, and all I hear is, "Come home." And I'm like, "What? Come home now." I go, "What's wrong?" She says, "Snake."
He was probably like, snake.
Well, it's kind of that way.
Spit it out, Junior.
So, I'm thinking, somebody's been bit, or something like that, and so I get in the vehicle, I leave work, and I get in my
Not
vehicle.
right away, because I had to call you back.
Well, because they just don't let you walk out. They actually tell
You
somebody.
said snake, though.
And I don't live next door to where I work.
Snake.
So, I get here, and I walk through our living room to our kitchen, which is right next room over, and I look, and she is standing in a chair, pointing at the refrigerator.
No, wait. Let me ask you a question here. There's no chairs in the kitchen.
It was a stool.
It was a bar stool.
It was a bar stool.
She drug this bar stool in there to stand on.
Yeah, because I told her, because when she said snake, I said, keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I
Right.
was gonna say you can't lose it.
And those things don't listen to you. I begged it to stay over there, but it would not
I
listen.
pleaded.
Let
I
me
offered it
tell you
$20 and everything.
Let me tell you something. A snake comes into our house, it's all going in flames. I'm burning it all.
It's
You
just
better
a
get your
rat.
values
She's really dead set on burning the house
Yeah,
down.
I'm thinking,
I think we may be
scared.
scheduling a doctor's visit after this podcast. We're learning some
But
stuff.
anyway, she's up there and she's pointing at the refrigerator. And I said, where is it? It's behind the refrigerator. So I'm looking and I can see it. I can see half of it sticking out from underneath the refrigerator. So I've got some tongs and something. I can't remember what I've got to try to get it out. I ended up with a butcher knife or so with.
What?
But
Michael Myers.
I'm trying to pull it out and get it to come out from around the refrigerator, and it's obviously went to the compressor of it because it's warm.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. Well, finally it moves its head around there, so I get the idea, get some wall spray. Well, here's the thing: people don't realize that you can spray a snake with wasp spray, and it stuns it. It'll literally
Well, it
go.
didn't kill it, but it
Yeah,
did
but-
stun it.
I'm sure it'd stun me too if you sprayed me in the face with
Well,
a
actually,
spray.
they go. Almost like stiff as a board when you do it. It locks them up. Well, I'm like, okay, I get the wall spray out, and I said, come here, and
To the snake.
no, to her.
I was like,
Come here.
I said, come here. I said, well, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna force it out on that side, and you spray it. Well, this is what I see when I hand her the spray. And I'm like, give it back. You're gonna spray me. So now I'm gonna be blinded and snake bit.
Now, didn't this end up being like this little tiny green snake?
Well,
or
it
something?
was a rat snake.
Yeah.
I was about to say, it's
And it wasn't
probably
tiny.
a
It was a pretty good sized
It's a
snake.
big snake. I have a picture still on my phone.
But she's
It was 20 foot long.
she is major panicking over this. So I get her to get back up on them.
Get back somewhere where you ain't gonna be in my way.
And well, basically that's what I said. So I spray it and it goes stiff, and I pull it out and I kill it. But
With the butcher knife.
Yeah.
with the butcher knife.
Cut its head off. And like stared at Mama
this
Lisa
is,
just like, I love
wait.
this.
Butcher pops.
It wasn't a butcher knife. You keep saying butcher knife. It was a cleaver.
Oh yeah, it was a cleaver. Yeah, that's right. It was a cleaver.
He's just
I just knew it was a big knife.
for a little too long. He's like, this is gonna be you if you call me about snakes again.
But I mean, it was probably the first time that I saw her in panic mode, and that she was incapable of helping me at all, which is unusual because that's usually not the case. But I mean, this was major, and and she's walked out of the house and almost stepped on them before. I mean,
and I cleared all 3 steps in my high heels.
But like Jordan said already, for the majority of you that are watching this don't know where I live. But I mean, I live out in the middle of a hayfield in northwest Alabama, and we have snakes and deer and possums, and
Wendigos,
and
armadillos,
And
emus.
here's the big secret
Emus.
that we've
Ghosts.
kept for
So we
years.
are on videos again.
If we see a 6-foot rat snake, we leave it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless it's in the house.
Yeah, because I mean they run other snakes, more poisonous snakes. They'll when they
And rats.
take care of mice
No
and
good
rats and
snake,
things.
but a dead snake.
But
We did have a king snake though that was like really good.
That Joker lived forever.
Yeah.
We used to hang out at the old shop.
yeah, it's
Ain't no snakes
I haven't
hanging
seen it in a
out.
while.
Ain't no snake
Speaking of big
hanging
old
out
king
on
snakes,
the
did I ever tell y'all about what they would do at Mom and Daddy's old place?
field. We have dogs that eat snakes.
So we live kind of like them. Well, actually, not kind of like them because it's even older. It's a 100-year-old farmhouse that we live in, and the way all of the inside of the walls is set up is like an old farmhouse, and so it runs, plumb from underneath the floor all the way up into the attic. And you could go, and I have done this personally several times. 1, 2 o'clock in the morning on a summer night, have to use the bathroom, sit down on the toilet, and you just hear this
What was it?
going up the wall. And if you listen, you'll hear in the attic these little and then you'll hear a little bit of flopping.
Just over here.
Yep. And then you don't hear nothing for a little while, and then you hear come all the way back down the wall. And the king snakes will crawl up in the attic, eat the mice, and then crawl back out.
Because it's a feeding ground for them.
Yeah. And it's especially when you're a kid, it's unnerving sitting on the commode going,
Finally, somebody else says commode.
it's just like,
The toilet.
what is that? And then talking to your dad the next day, like, oh, that's the snakes. They crawl around at night.
Oh, let me tell you, talking about stuff at night when you're a kid. When I was living with my dad, we lived in a trailer down in the middle of town. Well, surrounded by this trailer was
Meth heads?
huge pine trees.
Pine trees.
And these pine trees, they were a good 40, 50 feet in there.
Yeah, them big old pine trees.
The old ones.
Yeah.
They were literally all around the trailer. Well, I can remember laying there at night, and Rocky the flying squirrel decides to take a leap of faith off the top of that pine tree and would hit the top of that trailer, and you'd think that somebody was coming through the ceiling. When you hear boom, boom, boom. Why are y'all doing this?
How does it go again?
No. Well, boom, boom. Had to think about it, but I can't recreate it.
So what I'm hearing is it was definitely the meth heads jumping out of the trees.
No.
Steal your clout.
Listen, first of all, Junior, when I was a kid, there was no meth.
It was PCP. Thank you very much.
was
Government had
The
to create.
CIA just introduced crack. They
Yeah.
didn't need anything
No,
else.
crack came later too.
Not only
Dick was
was
hooked.
commode mentioned, but Rocky and Bullwinkle referenced.
What do you say, Rocky?
Copyright.
He goes, I don't know, Bullwinkle.
Okay, so I would not have told this story had Emma not reminded me of this story.
I told him not to tell this story.
Yeah.
He is sleeping on the couch tonight.
I'm not.
Anyway.
She thinks she can lock me out. I'll kick a door down.
Just follow after your mother's footsteps.
Yeah.
Or you just open it really aggressively.
So, this is not much of a story as an ongoing thing. Emma's terrified of the dark.
This is just oh, is she one of them ones that cuts the lights off in the kitchen and tries to make it to the room before the lights go out?
She does. And if there's animals in that house, They chase her.
They think it's a game.
No! Belle is normally beating me to the bedroom. She's scarred too.
So she takes off running. Now this is where the story comes in. We're walking down the hall one night.
This is a tripping story, isn't it?
Stop telling this right now.
We're walking down the hall one night. And the most terrified I have ever seen this woman. She flips the lights off, starts to take off running. I go, and grab her.
No.
She screams at the top of her lungs, turns around, slaps me in the chest. She is furious.
I'm ready to fight. Like, it is on at this point. And, like, I'm steadily, like, tears are just coming in my eyes. I'm so scared.
Well, you're not the only one that's scared.
I do the same thing. I turn the lights off and I like.
Okay, look, it doesn't help. Our house has, like, this long hallway, and the freaking light switch is at the other end.
It's in the middle.
So, no,
Yeah,
it's at
it's in
the
the
other
middle.
end. It's by the door. And then you have to run.
That hallway gets an extra 20 feet when the lights are off. I'm
Okay.
I forgot about that clip in the middle.
So when you turn it off, you're looking right at the wall, and the wall has a mirror on it. And like I grew up watching
That's the
scary
problem.
movies like Darkness Falls and The Boogeyman, and they just all come to mind when I'm looking at this mirror running to the bedroom. So like
She gonna burn the house down.
Oh.
she gets to take it off running, and for some reason, as she passes the mirror, she's
Y'all,
like, Bloody Mary, Bloody
I
Mary, Bloody Mary.
Y'all, I'm telling y'all right now, there's gonna be this little girl, and she's gonna have her hair in her face, and she's gonna be chasing me, all contorted.
That's Japan. You ain't got to worry about nothing.
In the mirror, yes, like that. She's gonna be chasing me in a little white gown like the Ring, and she's gonna kill me. It's gonna happen in these 10 steps, 20 steps. To the
35 steps.
Look,
half a
so
mile.
hold on. That's
Y'all, I'm telling you, my feet maybe touch 5 times from the time that I turn the light switch off to the time I get down.
She gets
to
her
our
steps in.
bedroom.
That one run.
So basically, if it's a Japanese ghost like that, you just got to confuse them, which I'm pretty sure you're doing when you take off booking down the hallway trying to outrun the light.
All I'm saying is the little Yorkie beats me to the bed every time, so she's scared too.
Well,
I can scare her after telling her I'm going to scare her. We'll be like watching a movie or something. I'll look at her and be like, I'm going to get you. She'll be like, huh? And I'll be like, ha! And she'll jump out of her skin every time. I don't know why.
No, I don't want to hear it because I used to work with her. And she used to take her breaks in the break room in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And all you had to do was walk up to that door, listen for just a second to make sure she had her back to you, and just...
Just open it real quick.
Yeah, and then go, hey, this insurance problem. And she freaks out. She loses her mind.
She's scared of her own, like, footfalls on the ground.
Listen,
I
my
can't tell
favorite
you.
thing in the world is to come home when she's been there all day and hear the washer and dryer running and know that she's back there.
Oh, man. Because she can't hear you.
Or I wasn't going to tell it, but since you are going to say that, then I will tell it.
Oh, boy.
So we
Coffee
used,
and tea.
before we got
Son.
before we got the shower, we built the shower in there now.
They used to
And our-
wash in the creek.
We know, we had a big garden tub, jacuzzi tub.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, man.
yeah. He was always one he would wash his hair and everything at the same time. And he would go under the water and he'd lay there and wash his face real good.
That's
and
not how I thought this was going to go.
one thing that you can say about this man is he is clean. I mean, he does not stay dirty.
He's one of them, he's
Clean
peeling his
free.
skin off. It's so
No.
filthy.
He's in the tub and he's laid down and he's washing his face when I come in, and I made racket coming all the way through the house and happened to go in there, and I'm thinking, he don't know I'm here.
See, wait, before you finish it. See, here's the thing. I don't think she did make racket because when I'm underwater like that,
You can
I
feel
hear
it.
I hear the vibrations
Yeah.
and everything, and I didn't hear nothing. And normally I hear her when she comes down the hall, when she comes to the bedroom, she goes to the bathroom. I think she was ninja stepping all the way around through there.
Turns out she ain't even
This was malicious.
No.
Didn't do it.
She ain't even here right now. We all look and
No.
she's gone. She's a ghost.
So I'm thinking, what can I do? So I just lean over him and I get like right here.
Oh man.
That's the night you almost lost your mouth.
So when he opens his eyes, I'm right there.
And what happened?
Because she almost got pulled in the water. Too.
Almost screamed like a little girl.
No.
Almost
screamed
like a little girl.
I did jump.
He jumped. He went, but he stopped himself.
I'm bad to take a swing.
Question. How do you go underneath the water?
Suck up all the water.
No, she wasn't. When I come up.
Oh,
it was in my leg right there.
He headbutted her is what they're
Right
saying. Bonk.
So since we're telling stories, mine's not here, so when I will be sleeping on the couch.
When this airs.
So a couple years ago, it was like four and a half, something like that.
4.5, 5, 7. You know, who
8,
cares?
During my wife's fiance at the time, graduation, she had the job of making, the big thing of baked beans.
No, that's a job.
Casserole dish of baked beans.
It's a job.
You've got to have beans at the graduation?
Well,
Grad-
yeah.
party,
I mean,
yeah.
if you're doing a graduation party, yeah.
So this took a while. She was adamant. Her mother was just like on her case the entire time. You better have these baked beans right.
Gotta have beans.
The Bush's baked beans.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a dog off there.
I don't go to the theater no more because I was eating a can of Bush's baked beans. So I said, hey, this guy's eating beans.
I hate y'all.
Her mother was like, you have to get them out of the oven at this time. Please do not mess this up.
And you got in the oven.
Yeah.
I just want to
Her problem was, instead of a casserole dish, she used a casserole dish tinfoil pan.
That's what I normally use.
Yeah.
It's heavy. And it's coming out of the oven.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Rachel's in her after graduation gown or dress or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Party dress.
Yeah. Picks up the baked beans.
It bends in the middle.
Didn't put her hands up, bends in the middle, and baked beans just go everywhere.
Everywhere.
I'm standing in the kitchen. I'm on leave, and I'm like looking at her with like a Dr. Pepper. I'm like,
Just watching it happen.
just watching it happen. She was like, oh my God. Her mother walks in about that time. What have you done? And then waterworks just start going.
Yeah.
Spent all day making these baked beans, and you're gonna mess it.
Her hands are burned.
Yeah.
I mean, they just folded. Like I'm talking about on the oven, on the floor,
Just like
underneath the
she's
oven.
in the floor, just like trying to scoop the beans up.
It's the chili incident.
There's a lot of baked beans everywhere.
Yeah.
So every time we go to the Mopless and stuff, and I always look at the oven, I was like, hey, you remember that time that
There was some beans.
And her mother's like, be quiet.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the beans in this house.
I don't even eat baked beans anymore.
Can't even look at a can of beans the same.
There's many stories I have that.
Yeah, I'm bad to swing when I get scared. So every story with me getting scared ends with, and I almost caught a charge.
Yeah.
TJ has to text me before he walks in the house. Hey, I'm about to knock on your door. Don't shoot me.
No, I do not, because I just walk in and you like grab the AK like, dude, I almost shot you. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's got to the point he's desensitized though, and I feel bad because at some point it's not going to be me just walks up in there.
Oh, maintenance came in the house yesterday. They got a gun on them.
Who are you? What are you doing in my house? You called me.
That's the problem. They don't knock or anything. They just open the door like, oh, I work here.
I live here now.
The story of the pressure cooker and
Oh, is
This
this
can be a learning experience.
when we almost set off a bomb?
Bleep that.
A B-B.
So, before we married, we had a work function to go to, and I was in charge of the mashed potatoes.
Your pan folded too.
No, my pan didn't fold.
She didn't even have no
my
pan.
pan didn't fold. I used a pressure cooker.
I love how she's like, I'm about to tell this embarrassing story, but also I would never be so stupid as to fold a pan.
No. I know what it's
I've
about. I've had
folded
that happen
pans.
before too. But no, this is the pressure cooker that I was using, and I'm ready to go. And all this, and I go in there, and they've cooked a allotted amount of time. I pulled them off the stove a allotted amount of time. I pulled the weight off to let it spew. You know, it was done
By the book, textbook.
It was ready for me to open. When I walked over there, and these are the old style, and you had to twist the handles like that. It pops up. hits me in the head. The potatoes went everywhere, all over the ceiling, all over the cabinets.
It's on the wall.
Everywhere. And my mother walks in about that time, and she was like, her eyes just got big. She was like, now what?
She's fighting off a concussion.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I almost died.
Who writes a textbook on mashed potatoes?
Oh.
Come here. Okay, so I will tell this one.
Don't drop it.
All right, so I'm getting ready. Well, I'm getting Emma ready for a wedding day, I guess. Katie's wedding.
Not me.
Wait a second. Not this guy.
Oh, you're going to tell the champagne story.
No, you didn't miss.
So I started to open a bottle of champagne.
I'm up.
In our house, might I add, with low ceilings.
I know you.
Start opening the bottle. It's cool. It's whatever. Done this 1,000 times. What I didn't account for is the fact that it's been in my trunk for the last 2 days.
In a hot car.
Around.
It's cooking.
So I get that last twist out, and I nearly get hit in the head with the cork.
What you get?
There's a dent in the ceiling.
If you hadn't been drinking that devil juice.
What you get?
Me
And
and
it was just standing there looking at me, just like.
No. I'm in the hallway, and all I hear is, poof! And I'm like, what was that?
I'm sitting there, I'm just rubbing the
He's
dent.
like, what did you do? Did it go through the ceiling tile? I'm like, because we don't own this house yet.
The one that she's going to burn down, by the way.
After she buys it, insurance money.
Yeah,
Me and
It's everywhere.
Well, they
It's all
can't.
over the
Literally, they can't now
floor.
because we're like, let's admit it on film.
Yeah.
me and Mama Lisa trying to figure out. You said you've done this 1,000 times. Was this 1,000 times before you're 21 or after you're 21?
We're concerned.
I never drank champagne before I was 21. It was
So he's got a drinking problem, is what I'm hearing.
Say there've been a lot of lies spread at this table.
No, there's been a lot of truth. It was beer and liquor before I was 21.
Get my Bible.
It's back here.
Get it.
We're having a
Let's
service.
look at it.
Oh man, but it was funny. I was covered in it.
Y'all, our house smelled like a brewery. It was so bad.
Because it was
The
hot
floors were
champagne.
sticky. It was so bad.
Oh my lord! I think we mopped 4
I
times.
said, I hope nobody comes home.
Don't ever
here.
put hot cocoa in a thermos. Just off subject, but
Huh?
Not
Same
off subject. Run it.
no, same thing happens. I can't.
Wait, hot cocoa in a
Every time I
thermos?
come home from leave, something bad happens. So we're about to do this Christmas on the River thing, which Demopolis has a big festival every year. They put a bunch of boats on the Tom Big B, shoot a bunch of fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
Dad's idea was, let's do hot cocoa this year, even though it's 70 degrees in South
It's
Alabama.
July.
Oh, it's just that yurt flooded. No big deal.
But we go out to Walmart, buy the Ozark Trail thermoses,
The big ones.
and we put hot cocoa in it. I don't think anybody took a sip the whole time we were out there. So they just stayed in the thermos for like 2 or 3 hours.
No goodness.
So we get back to the house, and Dad's trying to pry it open to pour it out in the sink. He's like, man, it just won't open. He grabs a fork, grabs a knife, trying to pry that lid off of it. And by the time it cracks, it explodes.
Did
Sounds
you
like a
make
hand-
it with club soda?
I don't know what happened.
Was that the cocoa or the Jack that you had?
It was the heat is what happened.
But it sounded like a hand grenade going off in the
It's like a
kitchen.
pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It just was sitting there building.
Right,
Yeah.
because nobody had opened the lid. and
Exactly.
it opened.
And it was all over the ceiling, but it smelled like spoiled milk. Like it didn't even.
Oh,
Say
man.
here's
bad.
something though. There's something for you can remember. You know the Stanley green ones? It's got the silver lid on it.
Don't do that.
That's the reason why the lid, when the first twist breaks the seal, but the lid doesn't come off.
I thought that was
Don't
just
they make
before the
don't they
coffee.
make thermoses where you can like pop a little tab?
Yeah, they make those too.
You know?
Yeah, that's weak.
Yeah.
That's trash.
It's not near as good as blowing up a thermos in your
Kitchen.
No, my bad. Kitchen.
Why would we be,
What kind of
opening,
idiot would have a
thermos?
thermos in their living room, Jordan?
I don't know. My bad.
Same one that left one for 2 or 3 hours with hot milk inside.
We had it in the car.
That's about like that time. Won't name any names, but with an old friend, look in the bed of his truck and his toolbox, like, hey, you gonna finish that case of Busch Light? Dude, that's been in the back of my truck for like a week. And
I still got Budweiser from Jordan's cooler.
pop the first one, and it just covers my face. I'm like, I don't want this anymore.
Should have made that decision when you saw it was Busch Light.
That was my first beer I ever had.
That'd be bad.
Ew.
Y'all have to understand, it weren't legal. Nothing about it.
It weren't legal.
Weren't.
We went to Red Bay. It's fine.
What?
We don't speak that English too well.
No. What else weren't legal was making
We played
making
football.
making wine in a coat closet.
Football
True that.
and some basketball.
I come from a high school where you're allowed to smoke.
Or he just, randomly showed up here from the 1940s.
Yeah, or he goes to a
What do you mean you
deli.
guys have a tobacco policy here?
He goes to a deli and he still expects them to say, "Oh, do you want cigarettes with that sandwich?"
Yeah.
Back in my
Don't mind if I do.
Come here, sweetheart.
How many years has it been, RD? It's been 80.
87 years.
he gets down here. Where the Marlboro vending machine at?
Oh,
Germany's
man.
an awesome country.
They got whole blocks. Women can't walk down over there.
Where?
Germany.
No, but me and Hunter got caught smoking cigarettes, and we have a designated smoking area.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You act like it wasn't during the time y'all could smoke cigarettes.
minute.
We
Wait.
had Smoky Hollow, but
Stop.
now I went to school in the.
Stop. Wait. You gonna act like that, and somebody literally got stabbed.
Yeah, but that's an everyday thing now.
Yeah, it went
The kids getting shot now. Not even no stabbing.
Yeah.
I'm only
we go
interested if
smoke
Mama
these
Lisa
cigarettes,
stabbed
right?
her.
And it's at the football field. Now you can smoke anywhere, and the coach is like, "Please don't smoke at the football field."
I feel like they
Especially-
didn't let them smoke. They were just like sneaking around smoking and didn't realize that it wasn't.
No,
did
literally in the
principal come
parking lot.
smoke with you? Did the principal come smoke with you?
But we went to the press box, and the Centus guys, the uniform people, drive the little truck around.
Yeah.
They called the vice principal, which was my basketball coach.
Oh.
And I see him coming down the hill. You've seen our football, see him come down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Come on, I'm wearing my Letterman jacket." And he's like, "We got told that y'all boys smoking cigarettes where you're not supposed to be."
Where they at though?
And I was like, "Nope, not smoking one." He goes, "RD," he goes, "You're wearing a leather jacket." He goes, "You literally smell like an ashtray." And he
smell
goes,
like
"If I go to that
Pall
press
Mall
box right now and I find a Marlboro butt laying on that ground," I say, "Go look for it."
I ate it.
He found it. But, he was like, "This is the smoking area. This is not." He goes, "We literally give y'all a place to smoke and you want to hide somewhere else."
Too far to walk.
No, we actually took the longest way possible.
This is like a lawless wasteland.
Arkansas is just like stuck in the 40s or something.
Yeah.
We had policies, but all of the teachers just ignored them. I remember leaving, like literally after the principal briefing about how we're not supposed to be leaving campus, get in my car with a friend of ours who does
Is that
meth
like
now.
Katrine, though? Like, she wasn't really the principal.
Well, yeah, but either way, it's not her I'm talking about. We literally pull out, and as I'm pulling out, one of the greatest coaches to ever come through that school, who was also a math teacher for a while.
Greg.
Nick Saban.
No. Hey. Hate to be rude,
Oh,
but being rude.
my
Literally,
dad likes him too.
literally stops me, roll my window. Hey, where y'all boys going? I'm going up to the store to get some cigarettes at McDonald's. I'm going to turn you into the principal. No, you're not. You want a cheeseburger? Give me a double cheeseburger.
No. The best story of leaving campus for food. Me and another one of the football players used to go. Okay, so we would get there on time, and then we'd walk up and down the hall, go and see all the athletic coaches. Hey, you want breakfast? Hey, you want breakfast? Hey, you want breakfast? We got to the head football coaches when R was there. We get in there. Like, hey, coach, you want some breakfast? I said, yeah. Where y'all going? I said, I think we're going to McDonald's. I said, all right. I think he said, like, get him a McGriddle or something. He goes, hang on just a minute. He reaches around, opens up that drawer, pulls his keys out, throws them to us. Says, take my truck. Won't nobody ask any questions. Okay, man.
See, that's what I like about Red Bay when you tell a story.
Well, now, wait.
Very similar.
Wait. He's a coach's son.
That's true.
He's going to be able to get away with that.
Well, we say this, but then at the same time, the most stickler for the rules English teacher who was getting people in my class in trouble left and right hit a point where Jordan would pop his head in and be like, hey, I'm taking TJ out of class. No, you're not. I'll be packing my stuff up like, hey, I'm leaving. I'm going to turn you in. I'm like, turn me in. Never got turned in.
And then I'd tell him, I'd say, we're going here. We're going to be there. If you're going to turn us in, this is where they can find us.
That's I like the similarities between our school. I mean, it's the same size.
Well,
But my last story, me and Hunter, go figure. We skipped school one day. We were going down to the cold hole, which was by
Wait, what?
It's called the cold hole.
It's a hole and it's cold.
It's a natural spring and it's cold. And this is August. School just started. And you've seen it. It's down there by my church, way out in the country. So we leave. We go to the cold hole. And we're walking down there in bathing suits.
What?
Case full of beer.
Bathing suits? Y'all wear bathing suits?
Yeah.
you can afford those?
Listen, cut off blue jeans counts as bathing suits.
So we're hiking with a case of beer, packs of cigarettes.
Sack count.
I was like, listen, windsuit, pants, and a fleece jacket counts as a bathing
All
suit.
right, no bullying, RD. Go work it.
But we're hauling down there, case of beer, carton of cigarettes, our normal thing. Going down there, swimming. We hear
How long did y'all plan on staying at the cold hole that you
All
needed a
day.
full carton?
How many of y'all were there that you needed a full carton?
just me and him. we hear a four-wheeler come down, and we're like, Hunter starts freaking out. Goes, man, what if it's a game warden? I was like, who cares? I was like, we have every right to be here. He goes, but then I was like, no, never mind. We got a case full of beer.
And your minors are supposed to be at school.
And he was
Truancy, underage drinking.
He was like, oh man, it's the game warden. I just know it. So we hide the beer like behind a bush or something like that, and just stand there. And it's two of our teachers
On a four-wheeler.
on the four-wheeler
During school hours.
during school hours. And most of our teachers at Hermitage were real young, and they were in their little bathing suits and stuff. And they were coming there like,
So it was girl teachers.
yes, and they were like, RD and Hunter, what are you guys doing here? And Hunter lights up a cigarette, cracks open a Corona, and he's like, I'm gonna have to ask you the same thing. She goes, well, how many beers y'all got?
That was like me and him would go sit in the music director's office.
Oh, you can't tell this story.
I can't tell this
No,
story.
you can't tell this
Why
story.
can't I tell this
We
story?
did meth.
Because you can't tell the story.
I ain't gonna name no
She's still
names.
employed there.
No, she is not, but you can't tell the story. We can tell y'all the story. Can't tell the story.
Belle said we're not telling this story. Come on.
Oh, man.
I can't believe y'all skipped school.
This is news to
Golden
me.
child, right here. Did not skip
Can't
school.
believe y'all did
I
that
did.
kind of stuff.
You didn't.
Can you not?
No.
I skipped school one day.
I always went to school.
Just once, just one time.
One
Twice.
instance.
What does God have to say about a lying preacher?
Nobody knows this.
He said, you can't prove it.
Yeah, you ain't got my records.
No, that was what was amazing about it. I'm pretty
You
sure I
remember when
went
I
to
asked that
school
question?
like 80 days my senior year.
No, my senior year, I counted by attendance alone. I should not have been allowed to graduate.
Jordan, I never had an issue with this child.
Same.
Never had an issue. All through school, straight A's.
Wait.
Jordan never got
You never had those issues. But what really helped me is that somewhere a file got screwed up. Because every time Bailey wasn't in school, she got called. Every time I wasn't in school, some random number got called somewhere. They was calling somebody, they just wasn't calling her.
Your boys, and that means some poor kid somewhere was getting home to a beating every day.
No, it's probably somebody, your woman going, what? Okay.
I have a son.
But he straight A's all the way up through. But his senior year, it was like somebody literally took a sledgehammer to him or something. I said, I got a phone call from one of his teachers. He has got to turn this paper in, or he is not going to be able to graduate.
Yeah,
And I said,
I remember this.
Yeah.
I'll take care of it.
Guess how much of that paper I turned in? 3 of the 10 pages.
I remember that paper because I copy-pasted my paper that was the same thing on Wikipedia. They're like, don't use Wikipedia, we'll tell. I literally highlighted the whole thing, pasted it into a Word document, and deleted all the hyperlinks. Got A?
My English teacher just stared at the window and played guitar.
Did you go to a hippie school or something?
He was a Baptist preacher. The only time he made us do stuff, he'll get up in the class and be like, all right, y'all shut up for a second. He's like 80 years old. He's like, I'm going to go over my sermon. I want y'all to tell me if it's good or not.
The more stories I hear about his school, the more I'm convinced he
Church.
didn't go to school.
Yeah, no, it was just a
we really
commune.
didn't go
They
to
set up a.
I think he went to a cult.
Yeah, we didn't really go to school.
He graduated.
So what were you saying about your school skipping days?
Yeah,
You-
truant.
Oh,
Truant.
I skipped one day. We were doing homecoming that day, and I literally had a car.
One day you need to be at school.
Yeah, I had a car load, and one of the guys that was in my class was like, "Hey, I want to go," because we were going over to the store. There was one store where I went to school, literally one, and it was
One
called
store.
the store.
It was a gas station, restaurant, shoe store, shirt store, grocery store.
It was a G&G. So he comes running out. He's like, "I want to go too." I said, "I don't have any room." I literally ended up with a girl on the front of my car, and he was like, "Pop the trunk." So he got in the trunk.
Now I've done that. Tanner Cash, hope you watch the podcast. I remember going to his house because he lived next to the school at the time with a bunch of his friends. Had to drop John off up 247. All right, let's load up and go. Oh, Mama was pissed this day. Oh my God. I forgot that I was supposed to take Dylan, my little brother, home.
Baby deal.
And so Tanner's like, yeah, we'll be back. All right, cool. So I heat up a family microwave lasagna in his oven before we go. Car's full. I lay back in the trunk eating this lasagna. We head off. It is 4:30 when we get back, pulling in. I'm up 247, so I don't have any cell signal. My phone is blowing up. Dylan is standing out on the front of the school crying his eyes out. Mom is livid with me. I forget what I told her to get out of it, but oh my, I felt so bad. I gave him half that lasagna though. I was like, just eat this and shut up. It's fine. It's okay. I brought you lasagna. It's okay.
Peace offering. I brought you candy. That's normal. I brought you half a family lasagna.
But as older brothers, we've all done something weird. Peace offering.
No, look, I didn't even, you can hit me back. Just don't say nothing to nobody.
Oh.
And there was a time I felt bad. I did not mean to do this. I almost killed him because I dropped him while we were rock climbing. And he landed on his head on a limestone bluff. And Mama was there. We all thought he died. We were scared.
One of my favorite things is Bailey coming in from jumping on the trampoline, and he's just rubbing the back of his head just as hard as he can. And he looks at me and goes, "Man, I don't know if I'm okay." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I did a backflip. Yeah, I didn't land on the trampoline."
He landed on the grass. He literally
He
had
has
a
a
grass
grass
stain
stain.
on his head.
No, for me, the best one, since we bringing Bailey into this, because there's a lot of stories we can bring in with Bailey,
Yeah.
There's a bunch.
That's where my gray comes from.
is the dirt bike.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we get him a dirt bike, and he's riding around, and you can hear him as he's getting more confident riding the dirt bike because you start getting a little bit faster. Well, you know, he'd run it up the top of the driveway and come down and make a turn out here. You know, and I kept telling him, you can't turn it that sharp.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're running too fast, you can't turn it that sharp. Of course, he's not listening to me because he's rode it now for approximately a day.
I know how to do this, Dad.
Well, I'm sitting there on the porch on the steps, and I'm listening. Well, then all of a sudden I see him walking around the side, pushing it. I go, "What are you doing?" I'm through riding. I go, "What?" I said, "Why are you through riding for?" I knew what he'd done. I heard him. I'm like, why are you not riding?" I'm just through riding. Of course, what he don't realize is half the hayfield is where he just head-butted the ground.
He just dug up into it.
I said, "Did you wreck?" Maybe. I said, let's walk around there and see. There is a clump of grass and dirt out back there that you could have probably sat down in.
He wasn't lying. He just had brain damage.
I said, you going to cut it that fast again? No.
It's a wonder that kid doesn't have brain damage.
If any of y'all ever met Gage, which you have, you've met a character. Mm-hmm. And Gage has done some hilarious and really dangerous stuff while growing up. And coincidentally, he's actually got more trouble than I have. There was this one morning, I think I was a junior in high school, and I went to visit him. He didn't know I was there. It was a weekend. I got there early. We had bunk beds. I got on the bottom bunk. He was on the top bunk. He woke up and noticed that I was down there, and he was like, "Oh boy, RD's here," and rolls too hard off the bed, falls, hits the table next to it, breaks the glass that's on the table, and just goes, "Oh, SOB," real loud. My grandmother that's in the kitchen goes, "What did you just say?" Gage repeats it. And she goes, "RD, you've been here for 30 minutes. You can go back home. Ready for the weekend." He goes, "Oh, well, better luck next weekend."
Oh, peanut.
Okay, bunk beds.
Dangerous.
We get the boys' bunk beds. That's when they're still sharing a room. And we get them for, is it Christmas we got them?
I think so.
Something, anyway, they got them with a gift. These bunk beds aren't put together. So I have to put this thing together. And it's a big metal thing. And
it was the full futon on the bottom that folded down, a rose.
Made a couch.
And then it had the top,
The little baby boy.
Well, I spend probably an hour and a half, 2 hours putting this thing together.
Yeah.
Bailey crawls up on top.
Carney style.
Gets up there. Yeah, I had stuff left.
That's just a parts bin.
They're young. The last thing I say to him before I walk out of the room, do not, and I'm looking him in the eye, do not jump off the top of this bed.
And y'all know what Bailey heard?
Jump off top of this bed.
So I know more than get out of the room. Okay, here's the kicker. We've got a ceiling fan.
Oh my God, I know this story.
The ceiling fan's on. He jumps out of the bunk bed, hits the ceiling fan, and I hear turn around.
You're walking down the hallway going.
I just turn around, walk back in the room. He's laying in the middle of the room, crumpled up, big whelp across his forehead.
Ceiling fan's got no blades.
No, he didn't mess it up. Strong ceiling fan. What did you just do? Nothing. I said, did you jump out of that bunk bed? Maybe. Did you hit the ceiling fan? Maybe. I said, don't do it again.
No, I fell, Dad. I fell.
Bunk beds and trampolines.
Man, one of my favorite stories about the bunk bed, though, me and Bailey are wrestling. And it's got that cross member right where the top is. And I had ended up on the couch, and I was sitting there, and he was about to jump on me. He didn't account for the cross member. He just clotheslines himself.
I'm surprised the kid's got brain.
I would say that kid has done more to his head.
Yeah.
Is it you or him that has an airsoft BB buried up in your chin?
Him. I don't think he has it anymore, but him.
I'd say Hunter had a BB bedded in his forehead. I shot him.
Because I remember you telling me that story like the day after it happened.
Which one of my favorite stories about when we was playing airsoft, paintball, and all that was when...
Yep, I know this story too.
Okay, so we had a full paintball course in our backyard. We were the house to be at.
Bunkers, walls, the entire.
We had a spectator net.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where spectators can stand behind it. Well,
50-gallon CO2 tank.
Yeah, we had the full rig. Well, we invite a whole bunch of people over one day, and there's 3 brothers that I play football with that come over.
This was the first time I learned about her being a savage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're playing, and it's cold that day. It's like December?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And for those of y'all that don't play paintball, that means that the balls don't pop so good.
No, they normally freeze. Well, Mom's gun gets jammed is the moral of the story. But the reason that we find out that Mom's gun gets jammed is her and one of the brothers are shooting it out right there at the end of the match. And she just runs up to the bunker, throws the gun over, and just starts pulling the trigger just fast as she can. He's got 3 whelps on his back, I promise. This big around. None of the paintballs bust, and she had 3 jams.
It was like shooting him in the back with rocks moving
Well,
about.
how bad it was, we didn't even when that happened, we didn't think about the fact that the balls were frozen. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until I'm sitting there, I get hit and I'm out of the game, and I'm sitting there watching them play, and the balls are literally going through the wood. I mean, it's just like popping holes, and I'm like, whoa! Wait a minute!
Something ain't right. So that's the story of why we started leaving all the paintballs in the truck.
Yeah, with
the heater on.
I have a pneumatic paintball gun.
But if you be trying to hurt somebody, put the canister in the freezer for about an hour before you play.
Oh yeah, then it's just ball bearings.
Yeah.
and also don't mess with Mama Lisa.
Yeah, also that too.
See, why don't y'all put this back up?
We've been talking about it actually.
Yeah, count me out for that one.
We can watch and
I see
score.
myself getting hurt quickly.
Yeah, we've been talking about it. Matter of fact, I remember back when you told me this story, we talked about putting one down at my house in all those woods, and we're still talking about doing that.
One of the best ones, though, is when me and Bailey...
we'd have to do it at your house because that was a ordeal to get that up and get it back up before hay season come around.
Yeah, there's a good plot out in the woods we could put it at for sure.
But when me and Bailey played Iron Man paintball,
oh man,
we're walking down the middle aisle just shooting, steadily hitting each other, and what finally ends the game for Bailey is I shoot him right on the end of the pinky toe. He's done.
Well, you remember the very first paintball guns y'all had, and they had the little CO2 cartridges in there, and I was wondering how bad they hurt.
Yeah. And
I walk up to Bailey, which he's probably...
Oh, he's young, like 8.
9 or 10.
Yeah, I mean, he's small. And I walk up to him, and of course I got on blue jeans. We're outside. And I said, Bailey, I want to see how bad it hurts. Shoot. And that's all I got was shoot out. He sticks it to my thigh and pulls
like muzzle on
my thigh. And I'm like... I had a bruise, 3 different colors that come up on my thigh.
None of them was the color of the paint.
No, the paint didn't buzz. It just stayed inside the barrel. It just rolled out on the ground. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm going to kill him, but I'm going to die of this before I have a chance to do anything about it.
Tourniquet.
But I mean, it was stuff like that all the time.
Oh yeah, we had an eventful childhood.
That reminds me of going to my cousin's house. He had, of course, paintball guns, airsoft guns, pump BB guns. Well, we got the paintball gun. We start shooting it off the roof, and that's no fun. So we get a hold of the pump up BB guns. We get out walking. We're gonna hunt something. We get out there and we're looking. I was like, "Oh, dude, check this out!" I see a bird up in a tree. Perfect headshot, man. I've always been a rifleman. Right in the temple. We get it. We get shown it to Dad. Check this out. We killed this bird. We're going to eat it. Dad's like, that is a red cardinal robin. Hide that. And don't tell anyone you killed it.
That you just did on a podcast.
Statute of limitations. It's fine. We were young. But I was so proud. I was walking up, my chest puffed out, my head shot. My cousin's like, this is so cool. Show it to Dad, and all the color drains out of his face. He's like,
I don't think he could say, that is a bald eagle.
You killed America.
He's like, take it out in the woods. He's like, take it out in the woods, bury it deep, and then don't say nothing when you get back up here.
Bury it deep. Brush off your footprints going to it.
Game warden's watching this and probable cause.
Then there was a time that it was Thanksgiving, and it's like back when we had one of those cold Thanksgivings, and me and him set out into the woods with golf clubs and a dream. And we're just tearing up the environment, and we somehow make it over the river through the woods, not to Grandma's house, to the highway, where we're proceeding to find, as hard as we can, our way up a billboard to an old billboard sign, trying to tear it off and tote it back like 3 miles through the woods.
Oh my Lord.
Game warden's watching this again.
Why do people steal signs?
Why else?
I never stole a sign.
I did.
Yeah, I have. But this was, because we had stolen like little signs here and there, but this was like Magnum Oat, like everyone steals stop signs. This was like an old like Camel cigarette ad from like the 40s, out in the middle of nowhere by a substation, no less.
Oh, my buddy in Hermitage, we went to his house one day and we're like, where did you get this huge Sitgo sign? It was just sitting in the garage. I'm talking the one they put up on the tower.
Where they put the gas prices.
Yeah. Huge. Just leaned up in the corner. This thing probably wide as that counter over there. And I was like, how? Like, I was like, I know where this is from. There's 3 Sitcos in Bradley County.
How many people did you get to do this?
One of them's missing a sign.
He goes, Dodge Ram and 6 people. I was like, you do realize that Mr. Cash is going to be extremely upset when he finds out one of these 3 caches, well, we call them caches, one of these 3 Sitcos is missing a huge sign in Bradley County.
It's all over the news. There's like looking for it.
It was on the Democrat Gazette. But
there was so much dumb stuff.
Pop's like, I ain't never stole a sign, but there's this one time I stole a bank. The whole vault.
I don't think I've ever stolen anything.
I know that my sisters
my heart.
took. Okay, do I need to mention?
Wow.
Wow. She's not even getting, she's like, I'm not even threatened by this. It is what it is.
It's the mustache. They bonded over it.
It's the most.
Anyway, your sister was stealing.
She was little, and she took, well, y'all don't know because y'all are young little whippersnappers. There were used to, you could get all these little pamphlets back in the sewing section where you could buy fabric.
Are you talking about the patterns?
At the TGMY.
No, not the pattern.
I'm getting worse. At the TGM. No, maybe it was the Kmart we went to. Anyway,
Book?
so
Ordered in the catalog.
And she was collecting the pamphlets. Well, she didn't realize she picked up one that was you had to pay for. So mother made her take it back inside and apologize. And of course, she was sobbing and crying. And, yeah.
My aunt, God rest her soul, was coming to visit me one weekend whenever she was coming up from Florida, and she got a bunch of stuff at Walmart. Well, she got some socks and just left them at the bottom of the buggy. Didn't know they was there. Oh. Walked out with them, had a full receipt, got a look. It's like, where did these socks come from? And had a breakdown because she stole a pair of socks from Walmart and thought that she was going to get in so much trouble. She felt so bad. She took them back the next day and paid for them.
Yeah.
Grandpa bought a thing of clothes hangers, a laundry basket, and a TV one day at Walmart.
But he didn't buy the TV.
And they rang everything up except for the TV. We got home, and we noticed that the security thing was still on the TV. And Grandpa was like, well, I guess we just cut it. So we cut it, and the alarm starts blaring on it, and he's like, get the hammer. So we're just beating it to death.
Burn it!
He's checking the receipt up and down. He's like, no, only $26. I was like,
that's a heck of a steal on a TV.
So, did it just not occur to him that maybe with a TV this should have been more than $26?
He didn't care.
No, he saw the ring of him. He was like, okay.
I ain't gonna say nothing if you ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah, I didn't steal. That's hookup.
Yeah.
I knew what was going on.
All right, y'all.
Well, robbery.
As fun as the stories have been, we are at or have exceeded time.
There's a dog sniffing a Dr. Pepper. About to steal it.
She's living her best life.
Yeah, she's loving it.
She's found.
She checked herself in the mirror. She about charged that mirror.
I'm looking good.
She thought about it. She's like, who's it? Oh, that's me.
She went like, oh, I look good.
Oh, Lord. Well, as always, like, subscribe, and share.
Share.
Sharing's caring.
Share it with your friends. Share the good news of the loot. Get the word out. We need more followers.
Is that how you do it?
Share our video.
Meanwhile, you're drinking just coffee grinds.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I quit drinking it because I realized it was just coffee.
He went to take a sip and started chewing. This is how coffee supposed to be.
Well, I've been Jordan.
Been TJ.
I'm RD.
Oh, I'm Emma.
I'm Katie.
I'm Mama Lisa.
And I'm Pops. Ching ching pow.